What's going on, guys? One love out to everybody. We got UFC Fight Night, Gane versus Volkov, or UFC Vegas 30. Predictions breakdown, guys. On the Bellator that just went by, I went 6-4 on YouTube and 9-1 on my Patreon account. The only fight that I missed was that Diggs versus Welch, which that was a ripoff. I felt Diggs won that fight, man. But it is what it is, right? It goes to the judges. Judges do whatever they want to do with it, right? So, like I said, sign up to my Patreon account. I had a bunch of combinations on there. I believe that was combination number, I think it was number 7. I think it was 7 or 9. But I went 9-1 on that one, okay? So we're going to break down this card and predict it real quick here, guys, but accurately. I also believe in the face-offs and weigh-ins on my Patreon account and a bunch of other combination parlays. All right, I may not drop the video for this card on my Patreon account, but I will drop the combination parlays and the face-off and weigh-ins. All right, so let's get to it. It's a pretty good card, man. It's a pretty decent card, even though, you know, every single card is a good card. The guys put their health in the line, so I mean, it is what it is. You know, these guys come in here, they do the work, they train, come in here and perform and take a lot of damage, man. So, first fight here, we have Yancy Medeiros versus Damir Hadzovic. Yancy Medeiros here, he's going to have a 5-inch of reach and an inch of height, right? He also fights at 185 and 170. And he trains with Nate Diaz and his brother and Nick. He will look for takedowns and will also look for the submission. But he will throw low volume at times. Kind of weighed a lot. But he's looking to counter, but he throw low volume. Especially with his last fight here against Renato. This low volume, you know. 3-fight losing streak. His opponent here, Damir. Damir is very straightforward, heavy-handed, aggressive guy. He will look for takedowns too. He will come forward. He's probably going to be the more physically stronger guy here. And, you know, he will let his hands go and look for takedowns too. So this fight here, man, is a very close fight. I was kind of going for Medeiros in the beginning, but I switched to Damir. But on my Patreon account, I'm going to have different plays. I may have some plays with Medeiros in it. All right, I might have a 5-6 play. I might have a 12 play. 11 play, right? So I'm gonna go with Damir for the win here. I just feel like the forward pressure, the more activity, maybe even the takedowns, strength factor also, and just the activity, man. So I'm gonna go with Damir by decisions, but I'm not confident because I do believe that Medeiros can win this fight too. Okay, but I'll go with Damir by decision, guys. Next fight here. We have Charles Rosa versus Justin James. This is the next tricky one here, man, because James is the heavy striker. He's heavy-handed. I believe he has a heavy-handed over left, I believe. Rosa's is pretty well-rounded, BJJ black belt. Focus more on the takedowns, just striking instead of the takedowns. He will look for the submission. He's going to have a 2-inch of height and a 2-inch of reach, right? His opponent here, Justin James, he's heavy-handed, but, you know, he's kind of wild at times, and he just looks for that one overhand. So he's like a wrestler with a heavy hand, but he will come forward and let it go, though, right? He likes to blitz forward, like you just sprint right in with that overhand. He will shell up at times and kind of like just throw that overhand, man. So, man, for this one here, man, you can go either way, to be honest with you. I may have some plays with James too, but I must say Rosa for the win. I just feel Rosa could be a little more smarter than IQ, like fight IQ. He could be a little more smarter. I think James is more of a bite down and throw. I think Rosa more maybe look for the takedowns, maybe put off a submission. That's what I have to. Coming from American top team to make good game plan. So I'm gonna go with Rosa, and I'm gonna say Rosa by submission, guys. All right. Next fight here, we have Julia Alves versus Julia Storenko. Okay. Julia here, she's well-rounded, heavy hand striking, decent ground game. But you see with our last fight here, She kind of burnt herself out in that first round. She was trying to finish Yumbach in that first round, and it didn't happen. She burned herself out. She used all her gas tank, right? Her opponent here, though, Starenko. I mean, every fighter is good at what they do, but I feel like against Julia, I feel Julia is just going to be the more experienced here. Better striking, could even be the better ground game. Starenko is a BJJ brown belt. She wants to take this fight to ground. Majority of her wins are by submission. She got 8 by subs, right? So she's not well rounded because she don't really have no striking for what I see. Still working on the striking, right? She can get control against the cage in the clinch and get taken down. So she can get muscle against the cage, and that's what Julia likes to do, right? And Julia in this fight is going to be the heavier striker and the better striker. So anything can happen in this game. You know, anything is possible, nothing guaranteed. But I like Julia Avila for the win. And I'm going to say Julia by KOTQ, guys. All right. Next fighter, we have Marcin Prachnio versus Ike Villanueva. Oh, man, I destroyed that one. All right. Marcin here. He learned from his last fight, man. I noticed that. You know, well, his last 3 losses he has, you know. I believe him being knocked down 3 times in a row, which is not good, man. Elbow, head kick, punches, Samavi, Magomed, and Mike Rodriguez. He beat Khalil Roundtree, but you can see that he changed up his game. Keep his chin down. He's not rushing in with his chin high. He's not dropping his hands and walking into you. You know, it's kind of like staying on the outside, using his side kick. You know, using his jab and setting up from the outside. So he learned his lesson. He has a karate base there. He has KO power, but he's been knocked down or knocked out 4 times. He's going to have a 2 inch of height and an inch of reach. Okay. His opponent here, Ike. Ike is a heavy striker too, man. KO power, but he more brawl. He just come over the top. But he's been knocked out 5 times and been subbed 5 times. So this guy's more of a brawler. Marcin is more of a technician in a kind of sense. But this is our next one here, man, where you can just fade this one because it can go either way, man. This guy here could come over the top, catch Marcin, and he can get knocked out. Marcin been knocked out 4 times, back to back too. And, well, 3 times back to back. And I got KO power, but he's been knocked out 5 times too and been submitted. So this is a fight where it's a toss-up. This is heads or tail. But I must say, I actually have Marcin here by KOTQ. But oh man, this one is a tough one, guys. This is a one that you can probably fade out. I mean, if you want, you can play either one you want to play. It depends on what you want to do with it. Marcin has won by submission, so most likely he's going to try to look for a knockout. So, or the fight might even go to a decision. I must say Marcin by KOTQ, guys, but it's definitely not definite, okay? Because I can overhand and catch him, okay? But Marcin by KOTQ. Next fight here, we have Alves versus Jeremiah Wells. It's a short notice for Wells. It's supposed to be, let's see here, it's supposed to be Ramazan Emiz. And Wells just jumping in there. I mean, Alves looks good in his last fight there against a guy that we thought was going to win the fight, but at least with the striking. Experience goes to Alves, man. I mean, and short notice for Wells again with these fights here. We're seeing short notice guys come in and pull off the win, man. But Alves is a pretty experienced guy. He's pretty well rounded BJJ black belt. He's good in the clinch, and he got punching power and kicking power, and he will look for the takedown and the submission. Jeremy Wells here, he's quick, and he got power too. Never been finished, man. And his ground game is okay. He's going to have a 3 inch of reach, right? But his striking can get wild at times. But again, with these short notice guys, I have nothing to lose, man. So usually they come in here and just go for it, and they pull the win off. So this is the next one here I'll be very, very careful with too, man. Very, very careful, because we could see a short notice Wells come in here and pull off a victory. Okay. I must say Alves by... I must say Warlley Alves by a submission, guys, but I'm not definite. I'm not sure about this one, okay? So Alves by submission. Next fighter, we got Michel Prazeres versus Shavkat Rakhmonov. Oh man, I'm trying real hard, guys. Prazeres here hasn't fought since 2019. And reasons for that, because he was tested positive for some substance, some banned substance, right? I don't know what it is, could be whatever, but he's been banned for 2 years. So he haven't been doing anything for 2 years, that's why you see 219 there, right? He's a grinder BJJ black belt. We look for the submission, and he moved up to 170 because he had a hard time making weight. And he's never been finished, right? His opponent here, though, Rakhmonov, he's going to have a 7-inch of height. He's going to have a 7-inch of height, and this one is a killer. A 10-inch of reach. Dude, that is massive. That's massive, guys. I can see they're trying to get rid of Prazeres. They're actually trying to get rid of him because he's coming back to a guy that's like pretty similar to the last guy he fought. But the height and reach is more, though. It's way, way more. I mean, what was 74-inch reach? I mean, this guy, I mean, wow, man. Let's see something here. I mean, this guy here has a, what, it's close to, he has a 77-inch reach, dude. I mean, again, Michael Prazeres is a short guy. He's a small guy, man. So, I mean, 5'6", 67-inch reach, man. So they look at it, trying to get rid of him. So they just giving him to a guy that's like real tough. So, and this guy here is a pretty well-rounded guy, man. Rakhmonov is pretty well-rounded guy, man. Striking, ground game, never been finished either. Straightforward sambo background, good cardio. He has amazing cardio, and he's very durable in all finishes. All his wins are by finishes, and he's durable and he has endurance. You look at Michael Prazeres, he always gasses out, always, especially at 170. And there's something you need to look at too. When a guy been tested positive for some substance, usually it's not the same. He may be slower, power not there. We see this all the time. And a lot of the guys in the sport, you have to remember something, guys, that a lot of the guys in the sport, a lot of them are on substance. They are taking something, some kind of performance enhancing drug. But what they do, they kind of detox the body and get out the system before the fight. But sometimes it shows up. Remember, if you want to be at that top level, some of these guys have to do certain things, right? You just don't show up, right? Or they hide it. But that's just part of the game, and that goes for anything, baseball, football, all the sports out there, man. I'm just being honest with you. A lot of these guys are on some kind of enhancement, like, you know, if you want to say steroids or whatever like that. Like what Nate Diaz and Nick Diaz said, they're all on steroids, right? So if you look here, he has 7 by KO and 6 by submission. So this is going to be a tough fight for Prazeres. But I mean, Prazeres is, you know what I'm saying, you can say the guy is experienced too, you know. But he's never been finished either. But, you know, tested positive, you don't know. You don't know what to expect from him, man. You know, he could be a completely different person than how he used to be. Could be slower, less power. He usually gasses out, though, and that's not a good thing. He gasses out against Rakhmonov, he's going to finish you because he's a finisher. He has all by finishes, either submit you or KO you. So Prazeres is going to need either a submission or something like that. But they give him a tough match, man, and you could see that they're trying to get rid of him. So I must say Rakhmonov by KO TKO, guys. And this is actually a confident play for me. All right. Nothing against Prazeres. I mean, the guy is experienced, you know what I'm saying? But it's just from my breakdowns or what I see from footages, and he's on some kind of enhancement drug, and then he's not on it anymore. Some banned substance have been fighting. You know, there's a lot of factors, and also the Islam fight didn't look good in that fight either. And he's fighting a guy with a longer reach and a better strike with better ground game. Yeah, man, they're trying to get rid of him, man. So, all All right, so I like Rakhmonov by KO TKO guy, and it's a confident play. Next fight here, we have Danilo Marques versus Kennedy Nzechukwu. Okay, I think I pronounced that right. Marques here, he will look for the takedowns, man. Striking is there, but he uses to set up his takedowns to look for a submission, right? He's a BJJ black belt, right? Remember Kennedy here, you know, he was winning that Paul Craig fight, and then what happened? He got caught. But Paul Craig always catch everybody in a submission, always. Even his last fight he had there, took off the guy's arm, man, completely. You cannot play in this guy's guard. You can't even play in his half guard because he find a way to get full guarded and pop up a submission on you. Paul Craig is very underrated in the submission game. He's probably one of the best submission artists in UFC. I mean, he gets the submissions, man. He freaking finds them and pull them off, man. Kennedy here is going to have a 6-inch of reach. Still slightly kind of green still, but I mean, he put it together though, man. He has heavy hands still. He stopped takedowns and he would get back to his foot. You know, if you saw the Paul Craig fight, he was defending Paul Craig's takedown. It's just that he's going into Paul Craig's guard. And that's the problem with these guys. They keep falling to Paul Craig's guard, man. He keep putting them down in the guard and catching them. He's going to be the quicker fighter. He will defend takedowns, but he can get taken down, but he will pop back up, right? With this fight here, man, Marques is going to have to keep grinding. And what I see from Paul Craig, if Paul Craig was unable to take him down, I don't think Marques will be able to. And I feel Paul Craig has the better submission game, man. And Kennedy was winning that fight completely until the end of the fight, which usually happens with Paul Craig. Paul Craig pull off a Paul Craig. Always. Catches these guys all the time, man. He's like a Venus flytrap, right? I'm going to go Kennedy for the win here. I'm going to say Kennedy by KO TKO, guys. And I'm not confident because we saw Kennedy got submitted before. So be careful of that one. Like I said, on my Patreon account, I will have different plays. Okay? Next fight here. We have Renato Moicano versus Herbert. Oh, man. This is the next tough one here, guys, man. Because with Renato, man, it seemed like, I don't know. I mean, he's not durable, but your face is not meant to get hit. But they say chinny. So, I mean, the guys he's fighting are heavy hitters, though. You know, Jose Aldo, the Korean Zombie, and then Rafael, you know, the guy's a good kickboxer, man. This is a tough one, man. Renato is well-rounded, man. BJJ black belt, but he'd been KO'd 3 times and kind of like back-to-back, you know, in a little while. Yeah, back-to-back. And then won, and then got knocked out again. Let me see. Most of his wins, though, are by submission and decision. He has no KO finishes, man. I just noticed that. So this guy is more of a submission kind of guy and a grinder than a stand-up fighter. He has stand-up and it looks decent, but he has no knockover. You know what I'm saying? His opponent here, Herbert. Herbert is well-rounded too, decent striking. He was also winning the fight against Francisco Ronaldo, and he got caught with overhand. He would have won that fight if he never got caught with overhand. It happens, man. Herbert is light on his feet, pop the jab, move around. His ground game doesn't look bad though. You know, if you get takedown, he pop back up to his foot. But Renato is a black belt BJJ, but Ronaldo was also a black belt too, right? Let me see here. I feel Renato is gonna have the better ground game, in my opinion, and but the striking goes to Herbert. Though. Herbert is more light on the foot. Keep the jab out there on you, and he's gonna have a 5-inch of reach. 5 inches of reach is a lot. 5 inch, 10 inches amazing, but 5 inches is a lot, and 2-inch of height. So. As I said, Renato, man, something's going on with him. If he get touched, he goes down. But like I said, he gets hit flush though, man, and get back-to-back knockouts like that. It just doesn't look good. This is a tough one here, guys. This one can go either way. I could see Renato subbing Herbert because he could go back to a game plan of American Top Team of just using striking, go for takedown, grind. But then he has to go from point A to point B, and Herbert can strike, and his movement is good. He has better movement than Renato, okay? I'm going to go with Herbert for the win here. And I must say Herbert by KO TKO, but I'm not confident because it can go either way. Either Renato sub him or Herbert is going to KO TKO. And if you look at Herbert, most of his wins are by KO TKO. So this is like, it could be striker versus grappler, but not really, because Herbert has a ground game and he has submissions. He has one by submission, but you see him on the ground, he doesn't look bad. But against a BJJ black belt, I mean, it could be different. And Renato ground game is pretty good, but he has 8 by KO. And if you said Renato has nothing by KO, 0, and he has 7 by submission, mostly decision. So he could grind with a win here, and he's pretty much a more experienced guy. But again, I'm a Patreon account, guys. I could have a different play here, which I am going to have a different play. But I'm gonna go with Herbert for this one. I'm gonna say Herbert by KO TKO, guys. All right. Next fight here, we have Nicolas Dalby versus Tim Means. Tim Means taking his fight on short notice. Dalby, very experienced guy, very well-rounded, karate base. Dalby's pretty good fighter, man, and he beat Daniel Rodriguez, who was, Daniel Rodriguez is a pretty good fighter there, man. He got pretty good hands in him, right? And he's pretty well-rounded. Tim Means here actually lost to Daniel Rodriguez by submission. But again, you can't really look at the fights like that, because this guy beat that guy doesn't mean the other guy's gonna beat the other guy. It doesn't always work out like that. Next to what they say, the MMA math. But I like Dalby for this one though, man. I mean, short notice for Tim Means, but I mean, Tim Means is a veteran though. He's a veteran, but Dalby, if he comes in there and keep that smart fight IQ, move in, move out, pop the jab, move around circle, maybe look for some takedowns, ground and pound, kind of mix up a little bit. I can see Dalby pulling off the win here. And that's a confident play for me, guys. I got Dalby by decision. All right. Next fight here, we got Andre Fili versus Daniel Pudio. Fili gonna have a 4-inch of reach, man. 4-inch of reach and 4-inch of height. He's gonna be massive in this fight. He's well-rounded and he can get the takedowns, but he can get taken down too. Against his opponent here, Daniel, he's well-rounded, but he will look for takedown, but sometimes he doesn't get it. And he will look for the submission. Majority of his wins are by submission. So that's the way for him to win, is try to submit Fili. But Fili going to stay on the outside with that jab, man. And what we saw from Cub Swanson, man, I mean, like I said, the guys who getting knocked out, even though it was last year, 12-12 in December. You know what I'm saying? The height and reach from Fili, man, is going to play a huge factor. Right, so I like Fili for this one. This is a confident one for me, guys. And I'm going to say Andre Fili by KO TKO. Next fight here, which is it's going to be an amazing fight, man. Raoni Barcelos versus Timur Valiev. This is going to be a good fight, man. A good technical fight. Stand up. Mostly stand up. You may see some ground too, but mostly stand up. Raoni Barcelos is a very well-rounded guy, man. Good striking, good boxing, and he's going to have the power in this fight. He's going to have the power in this one, but this guy's well-rounded everywhere, man. This guy's a pretty good fighter, man. Can take the fight anywhere, and he's nice standing up, nice in the ground. I believe he's a BJJ. When I say that a BJJ purple belt or blue, I think it could be black. I think it's a black belt, I think. I mean, I could be wrong about that. His opponent here, Timur, he's well-rounded, got good striking too, kind of karate-based sambo kind of style. Both guys are very, very skilled, man. But I see more holes in Timur's game than I do in Barcelos. His last fight there, man, I mean, you can't hide from that one. He got knocked out in that fight. Even though it looked like a short notice, but then he wasn't defending himself. And then marked it as a non-contest, man. You know what I'm saying? So he can get knocked down because that guy knocked him down on the ground. So there's holes. Timur going to have the speed advantage in this fight, but the height and reach is pretty much even. But Barcelos is going to have the power though, man. And from just the footage that I've seen, Barcelos looks like the bigger fighter, like frame-wise. But I thought, look at the face-offs, I'll be able to tell a little bit more. But this is going to be a good one. This is a tough one because Timur could win this fight just off of speed, man. But again, I see more holes in him than I do in Barcelos, man. So I'm going to go with Barcelos for the win here. And I'm going to say Barcelos by decision, guys. And I'm not confident because Timur is a pretty good fighter too. Even though he got caught and knocked out by a guy that's like 12-6. I mean, no offense to that opponent. But, it happens. Anybody can get caught in the chin and go down, right? But I'd say Barcelos by decision. Next fight, we got OSP versus Tanner Boser. Boser short notice, but he just fought this month. Okay, I believe there early in this month he just fought. OSP here, man. He has to take this fight to the ground, man, and look for submission. The longer this fight goes, he's gonna favor Tanner Boser. Tanner Boser has pretty decent cardio, and he has power punching. And we see from OSP, he slows down, man. And every fight he gets slowed down, slower. So he has to look to take this fight to the ground. That's the only victory way I can see him winning this fight. Yeah, I mean, Tanner Boser is light on his feet, in and out movement, but he can get taken down, which we saw when he fought Latifi, which that fight was, people say it was a robbery, but, you know, in the third round, he just laid on his back. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. The judges see that. It look like he can't get back to his foot. So they're going to give the fight to the other guy. Man, I'm going to say Boser for the win here. But again, I'm not confident in this one, because if he gets taken down, no, OSP he's gonna land some punches on him, but OSP will gas out, oh man, and he's gonna be the slower fighter. Boser is too light on his foot, man. So I'm gonna go Boser for the win here, and I'm gonna say Boser by KOTQ, guys. Alright. Main fight in the card here. We have Cyril Gane versus Alexander Volkov. Gane is a pretty well-rounded guy. He's gonna have a 2-inch of reach. He will play an outside game, more of a technical kind of game, depending on the opponent. When he knows the guy has a lot of power, he may not engage too much, which is a smart game plan. So he may get low volume, but he looks for openings, right? Even though he's a big guy, he looks like he could probably go to 205. You know what I'm saying? I think heavyweight might be a little bit too big for him. I guess, you know, when you look at Volkov is a big freaking guy, man. He's a big dude, man. Right? He's 265, and Cyril Gane weighs in at what? At 245. Well, Volkov here is very experienced, man. I mean, 33-8, but the guys he fought, dude, he fought in Bellator. He's a very experienced guy, man. He will let his hands go. He's gonna fight. He's gonna come in here and push the fight. If Gane don't want to push the fight, he's gonna push the fight. So he's not gonna sit back. He's a heavier striker, and he has a bigger frame, man, and he's more well-rounded and more experienced. Gane's gonna, you know, stay on the outside and pop the jab and move around, but Volkov can do that too. Everything that Gane does, Volkov already seen it numerous of times. I'm gonna have to go with Volkov for the win here, and I'm gonna say Volkov by decision, but I'm not confident because Gane is very light in his foot, but Volkov is light in his foot too for a bigger guy. But Gane is very light in his feet too, and if he can stay outside and pop the jab and move around, he could pull off a win. But Volkov seen that though. It's just from experience, guys, right? So I like Volkov by decision. Take a quick look at the odds here, guys. Let's see here. Okay, Demir Hadzovic is okay. He's a favorite. Okay, I mean, I'm not too. You know, that's not too bad. I mean, it's close to even fight. I mean, it should be an even fight, but it's close. So, I mean, that's not too bad. Rosa and James, 160. Yeah, that's not too bad. You know what I'm saying? Close to even. I would say more even, but it's not bad. Okay, Avila versus Starenko at 3 something. I don't disagree with that, man. I feel like she wins this fight anywhere she goes, stand up or the ground. So I don't disagree with the odds on that one. Marcin and Isaac. Ooh, oh boy. Yeah, totally disagree with that one. Totally disagree with that one. I totally disagree with that one, like I disagreed with where's that fight there with the big underdog against where is it at? Samuel and Huckett. Oh my goodness, 650. Remember I told you guys to go underdog. I had plays with Samuels in it. Told you, when you see things like this, it's either they're trying to build up the guy or they're trying to cash out. Huckett could even take down he didn't even go for takedowns. He actually didn't even try. He stand up in the middle and just try to strike, and he had no striking. Yep, that's where the cookie crumbles, man. Yeah, so Alves, yeah, I agree. Okay, the Marcin I was talking about and Isaac, disagree with that one, man, because both guys, man, they really can't take a hit, and both guys are heavy strikers. There's no way Marcin should be negative 225. No, Marcin's a more technical guy in the foot, but still, his chin is not there. You touch him, he goes down. Some people can take more hits than other people. Marcin can't take that kind of hit, and Isaac can't. So how is it going to be more for Marcin? It's going to be an even fight. So be very careful with this one, or go underdog. All right. We got Alves versus Wells. Alves at 225. I don't really disagree. Short notice for Wells, and Warlley Alves is more experienced, but still, I will be very careful with it. Be very careful. Rakhmonov negative 300. And Prazeres 250 plus. I don't disagree with this one. If you look at Michael Prazeres, come off of some banned substance, haven't fought for 2 years, didn't look good in his last fight. He gasses out. He fighting a guy with a good gas tank and well-rounded all over. I don't disagree with that one. Kennedy and Marques. Okay, this is pretty decent, you know. Kennedy, slight favorite, but kind of even. I don't disagree with that one. Renato. Oh, I disagree with this one. I totally disagree with this one, guys. This is an even fight because Renato can get knocked out, just as well as Herbert can get submitted. But I feel that Herbert's going to have a better stand-up and he can avoid the submissions. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'd be very, very careful with this one here. Very, very careful. Very careful. Like I said, on my Patreon account, I will have different plays, guys, okay? Tim Means, Nicolas Dalby. I disagree with this one. I like Dalby for this. I like Dalby for this play. Yeah, and Dalby's my confident play, I think, which I did mention, right? Yeah, but they want to put it as even, but I mean, yeah, I mean, having it as kind of close to even is fine. I mean, Dalby's an underdog, but close to even is fine, I guess. Yeah, but either way, I mean, Means can win, but I see more Dalby winning, so, you know, it's an even fight, I guess. Fili and Pineda. Okay, Fili 225. I don't disagree with that one. I feel like he should win this fight. Reaching a height, better striking, and even better can defend the takedowns. Barcelos and Timur. Oh man, you know what, man? I do see Barcelos as a favorite, but Timur is a pretty good fighter, man. So I slightly disagree with the odds in here. I think it should be a little bit more closer. This fight should be a little bit closer. All right. Ovince and Preux, Boser. From Boser's other fights there he had, his prior fights, sometimes he doesn't show. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though the Latifi fight, he kind of won that fight, but Andrei Arlovski, you know, when he's fighting experienced guys, look like he doesn't do too well. So him being 185, nah. I would say this fight should be more even fight, man. All right, so be careful with this one. Gane, wow. Oh, wow. He's favored in this fight? Oh, my goodness. Totally disagree with this one. I can say Volkov winning just off experience. Volkov been there, done that. And Volkov can strike. Volkov have better ground game, in my opinion. Striking, Gane may be light on the foot, but Volkov can strike too, man. So I totally disagree with this one. I can say Volkov winning, and this should be if Volkov should be favorite, to be honest with you. And Volkov gonna have the bigger frame. And you know, once I see the face off and the wins, then I have more of an insight on it. But yeah, I totally disagree with this one. Gane shouldn't be a favorite. At least not no 155 or 170. If it's anything, even fight. This is pretty similar to the Dalby and the Tim Means. All right. So, like I said, guys, I will leave my other plays, face-off wins, on my Patreon account with couple breakdowns, couple combination parlays. Maybe not that much for this one. You know, there's couple and couple of face-offs. Okay, so that's about it, guys. I'm gonna be popping out some more videos here, guys, and yeah, man, I want to work on the face-offs now and put those onto the Patreon account. You guys keep on kicking. One love out to everybody, and us.